12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Have you ever walked into a room and felt suddenly sad or anxious and had no idea why you're feeling that way? Because no one's around? Your brain can activate strong emotions without you being aware of why you feel that way. That's what I'm talking about today. I'm Dr. Tracy Marks, a psychiatrist, and I make mental health education videos. This is the first video in a series that I'm doing talking about emotions and emotion regulation. We all have emotions and they serve important purposes. They help motivate us to action. Emotions help us communicate with each other. For example, our body language and facial expressions are reflections of how we feel. And often, facial expressions or a tone of voice sends a stronger message than the words that you use. Our emotions also give us information about our environment. You can get a gut feeling that something's not right about a situation. Your gut feeling isn't always accurate, but it does inform you about how you should consider the situation. Is this situation a threat or not? And this is where our biology comes in. There are several brain regions involved in generating and processing emotions. For simplicity, I'm only going to discuss 3 of the areas that are involved, especially when we experience stress and trauma. These 3 areas are the amygdala, the prefrontal cortex, and the hippocampus. I'm going to talk about the science of it and then apply that to how that works in real life. The amygdala is a small structure located deep in the brain that acts as an emotional alarm system, like a threat detector. It's a subcortical structure, which means that it acts on instinct and not reasoning. Your cortex is where the reasoning happens. Let's say I'm walking on a sidewalk on a busy street and a car is coming too close to the sidewalk as if it might hit me. Before I become aware of how close the car is, my amygdala senses the danger and triggers the release of cortisol and adrenaline that gives me the power to move out of the way and run if I need to. How did the amygdala sense the danger? It got the information from my eyes, maybe even my peripheral vision, and then the sound of the car as it came close to me. And all of that happened before my mind registered it as a car that's coming too close. Your amygdala is also involved in associating emotions with specific memories. This is why certain memories can evoke strong emotional responses. Another thing the amygdala does is recognize and interpret facial expressions, particularly those associated with fear and other strong emotions. It helps us understand and respond to other people's emotions, which is necessary for empathy and social interaction.
Yeah. You remember the topic we did the other day? Relationship homostasis? Homostasis? Homeostasis is the correct pronunciation. Homeostasis. You remember that? If you got unrequited wounds, you have put your sympathetic nervous system in the driver's seat. You're going to always have your fists balled up. You want your parasympathetic nervous system to be in the driver's seat. This is when you're at peace, balance, equilibrium. Most of us are being ran and ruled by unrequited fears and wounds that come with them. So it's no surprise to me that you would spiritualize and intellectualize and bypass actually feeling something because you've had a whole lifetime of avoiding the feeling. Ronan, Indianapolis, get in here and wrap your thought, my friend. You were about to start cooking, so let me give you space.
Okay, well, I said when I had time to think about it, this is one of the questions that scares the living lights out of everybody, it seems. And I'd ask myself, who would we be without our negative narrative?
Ooh-wee.
And it seems like we run on 100% to protect that negative narrative because, like you mentioned before, like the fear of the unknown. What would happen if I actually healed and moved on to something else? Would I be able to recognize that person? Am I terrified of that person by stepping away from the familiar?
Keep going. I'm listening. Go ahead. You got time. Go ahead.
So while people like to immerse themselves in this whole gender war, which I call it a gender war, when we actually sit down at the table,
I like
we
that.
actually sit down at the table, we got to learn how to work on ourselves so we have those table manners when we present ourselves at this proverbial table.
Mm-hmm.
So there's too many. Instead of going to the table looking for a food fight, you got to learn how to understand the purpose of said table. The table's supposed to be about fellowship. It's supposed to be talking about grand ideas, enjoying the meals presented, learning lessons, teaching people how to cook different things, culture, things of that nature. So it teaches us to really look within ourselves and around ourselves. That we will learn how to turn our home, into something real rather than, again, being emotionally homeless.
So let's go even deeper.
Okay.
Wouldn't a healthy relationship, or maybe we should normalize this, right?
Yeah.
A healthy relationship should have a space for your soul to be able to ugly cry to your partner.
Yes.
Right? I think, again, these emotions are powerful. We don't want to ugly cry, let alone allowing our soul to do it as well. I think there should be a safe space for the ugly cry. And I'm not talking about somebody showing you emotion with the misty eye. I believe actresses are good at giving you the misty eye, I call it. Your eye is damp. You're not crying for me. You don't feel for me. And I'm not crying for you. Do you understand? There has to be a space where we can really cut loose. What are your thoughts?
I definitely think when you're able to have that space to do that ugly cry, you get that person permission to not only learn how to harness that strength, but to teach that person who's giving you that permission to do that for themselves.
I love it, brother. Guess what you just did, man? Guess what you... Oh, no, finish your thought. You wasn't done. Go ahead.
Well, I said, once we do that, we actually have healthy relationships because now you can allocate your resources to protect what you guys have because you have something to lose and a whole lot to gain.
Love it, brother. Appreciate you for the call. Guess what you just did?
Well, Indianapolis back to the building.
Indianapolis came back to the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me. We are all over the country. People are calling when I come forward. The voice of reason. We going to Pensacola, Florida. We going to Houston, Texas, and somebody calling right now.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
If you're an adult in need of accredited high school diploma, the Los Angeles Public Library can help. You can earn one for free in as few as 5 months online with 24/7 access. You also get a personal academic coach plus special training focused on 9 in-demand industries, as well as a resume and cover letter to advance your career. Visit the website at lapl.org/diploma. That's lapl.org/diploma.
There's only a few days left for open enrollment, starting at $0 a month. LA Care Covered offers the benefits you need to achieve your health goals. $0 preventive services, 24/7 virtual care and nurse advice lines, walk-in minute clinics, free fitness and nutrition classes, and more. Become a member of LA's most affordable health plan. Get a free instant quote at lacarecovered.org. Have open enrollment questions? Connect with us today at 855-222-4239. Find your affordable path to wellness with LA Care Covered today.
Imagine with me here for a minute the most beautiful panoramic setting. Maybe it's an endless ocean, waves crashing on a beach, or a crystal clear mountain lake, peaceful and quiet. Or maybe it's just little kids playing in the park down the street. Wherever your imagination takes you, now imagine right smack in the middle of this perfect picture, a piece of litter. Just one piece right there in the middle of it all. Doesn't exactly fit, does it? In fact, even though it's just one piece, now it's all you can see. That one piece ruins everything. And that's the thing about litter. It doesn't take much to ruin everything. One thing's for sure, it simply does not belong anywhere in California. So here's the good news. If we work together, we will change it. We don't have to let litter, even just one piece, ruin your perfect picture. Not anymore, not ever again. Clean California, zero litter is the goal. Brought to you by Caltrans and CleanCA.com.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
What about you, baby? I feel worthless. I'm living on the edge.
It's been an hour since you've been gone, and that's too long, so come back home. I can't live without you, so I'll cry for you. Do anything that I can to feel that touch from your hand. Sorry that I want you, lady, what do I do? You know you're everything I do. Oh yeah, do what you want me to. I would do anything. Get on my knees for you. Oh, baby. What else is there to do?
Let's talk today about you not letting other people affect you negatively, at least not nearly as often. Because what happens with a lot of us is that someone will do something or say something, and then it will trigger something in us. It will bring up something in us, and then we will have this like big intense emotional reaction, not necessarily meaning that we act out on it, that we are like screaming and yelling, although sometimes that happens, but that we're just having this big intense emotion that comes up that's extremely uncomfortable, that does not feel good. And then often that feeling kind of stays, or we go around and around in our head about it for the day, or maybe even longer, and it can ruin an entire day. Someone else doing or saying something that brings up something in us can ruin our entire day, and then it doesn't feel good. And it can also cause other problems in our lives, meaning that we start to try and avoid everyone or everything that's going to bring up an uncomfortable emotion, and that's also not a great strategy. Just as an aside, when I say the word trigger, I'm not talking about like the clinical PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder sense of the word trigger. I'm talking more about sort of the everyday triggers that a lot of us have, maybe not all of us every day, but often enough where something is happening on the outside of us. Someone is doing something or saying something or something is going on, and then it hits something in us. It hits a wound, it hits a sore spot, it hits a sensitive spot, and then we have an intense emotional reaction to it. Usually a disproportionate reaction to it, right? Usually our feeling that we have from it is bigger than the thing that happened itself. And usually in hindsight, we're like, wow, I don't know why I got so upset about that. I don't know why that, I found that so difficult. But in the moment, it feels really huge. And so we're going to talk.
Woo-wee, this is a deep topic. I love it. I love these conversations. Let's get the creator of the topic in here, Atala from Houston, Texas. Why did you create this topic? Oh my goodness.
Look, y'all cut up in the comments, boy. I almost forgot to turn my phone on. What was I about to say? Why did I create this topic? Ronan asked me the same question. Retroactive pain? Straight up. Because, okay, so my mom used to say all the time, you just philosophize, and blah, blah, blah. Interestingly enough, that's my strong suit. However, what's not my strong suit? Feeling right in that moment. What that has done has attracted to me people who explode on me a lot. And so when you're someone who is you're just not used to really being present within yourself and understanding how you're being treated, you will attract people who don't really have very good emotional regulation, because you don't have emotional regulation and you're mirroring each other. The only difference is you're quiet and they're not. So I say all this to say that you cannot think your way, logic your way, pray your way out of emotional dysregulation. You cannot. You have to learn how to directly, calmly deal with the things that are going on with you in that moment. And I wanted to address some things that Sugar Chris has said in the chat about toxic positivity, and I guess the opposite being like lacking empathy or whatnot, like extreme lack of empathy, narcissism, whatever you want to call it. I look at it this way. You have to learn how to assess what someone needs, and it's really hard to do that when you don't know what you need. So if I don't have self-awareness within myself to understand my own emotional needs, and again, I am projecting, I am, intellectually bypassing, however you want to say it. I'm using spirituality, I'm using the church, I'm using anything I can get my hands on to really avoid confronting what is. You're doing the same thing. Both the unempathetic, extreme unempathetic person, the narcissist, and someone who is toxically positive, they're both doing the exact same thing. They are not really addressing the root of the person and what it is that they genuinely need. And again, if you're numb to yourself, it makes sense why you wouldn't be able to do that. And so I think it's hard for people to wrap their mind around this, because they feel like they are helping. They feel like they are doing what they can, which is part of the reason why I kind of hate that saying, we're all doing the best we can. No, we're not. We're doing what we are comfortable with.
We are doing what we are comfortable. That's heavy. Keep going. If you got some more, give
Yeah,
me some
and
more.
I'm just saying, as a Torian, right? I mean, like, we love comfortability, child. That has been the bane of my existence, and it is the thorn in your flesh. And so when you're in the class of life, you're going to constantly meet people, whether that's intimate relationships or someone on the street, who are going to provoke that out of you and try and get you to learn that lesson. And so, again, if you're bypassing your own emotions, your own real progression through your emotional well-being, then you'll be doing that to other people. And a lot of times people are not going to tell you that. They're just not, right? Like, especially if the person is positive, it's really hard to tell them that, hey, you know, you spoke a lot of kind words to me, but that really wasn't what I needed in that moment.
Well, we thank you
And
for
it's
tonight.
really hard to...
No. Keep going. You got
Huh?
more. Keep going.
Sorry?
Go ahead. No. You keep going.
I was just going to say, on the flip side, it's really hard to tell someone you love that is emotionally dysregulated and upset in that moment. You know, when you hang up on me, when you yell, when you scream, when you say those things to me, that genuinely deeply hurts my soul. And I understand that you're not attacking me. You are dysregulated right now. But I don't really know how to tell you that there's no amount of solutions and logic you can use in this moment. I just need you to be present and feel it with me, and it's uncomfortable. So at the beginning of the show, you also talked about, you know, people kind of promoting this whole idea of leaving and the fantasy of being this main character in your story, the person that triumphs, because everybody tries to be the hero in their own story, right? Or the heroine. Mm-hmm. You're not a hero if you are running from your work.
However, wait, that's what Dr. Ramani said. She said spiritual intellectualizing or spiritual bypassing or intellectual bypassing, she said, is really the coward's way. Go ahead. I just you saying that was poignant, and it made me remember that. Go ahead, finish your thought.
And I'm a coward. I'm one of those people that can easily sum up things. Well, yeah, you know what? He said this. Yes, that really hurt. But you know what? I get it. It's coming from this space, coming from that space. And, you know, within my last, you know, situation and having to kind of deal with that and understanding a lot of the things that came up for me, something that I realized is that, you know, as a child, I never really was allowed to just be peaceful. And there was the role of trying to fix everything and make sure everybody's good because I'm the oldest of three. And the problem with fixing and using, like I said, the bypassing technique, trying to intellectualize the craziness that I'm going through at home, because, again, I can't go anywhere else. I have to be at home. I have to. You basically feel like you have to make some sort of statement or something in your mind that has to make this make sense. Like, and either you're going to basically go within and hurt yourself. You become your own bully, right? And then around you, everyone else will see you as that punching bag. Or you get angry and it becomes an outward thing. And so I'm kind of talking around in circles. But I'll just say that you have to feel your feelings. And when it comes to dealing with other people, you have to allow them to break down in front of you. Because you know that you've had to break down probably by yourself. So if someone can do that with you and be that safe space, that haven for you, I mean, that's a lot stronger than any little positive platitude that you could say. There is no amount of positivity or, you know, stick-to-itiveness or just get over it that is going to help a soul that is hurting and broken. It's just like you have to just allow people to just be. Right. But again, you're not allowing yourself to be. So it's, anyway, I don't want to take up too much time, but I love y'all.
Hey, guess what you just did, Atala?
All right, Houston in the building.
Houston, Texas is in the building. We waiting on L.A. I can't wait for L.A. to jump in here. 1-800-920-1580. We got Pensacola, Florida on deck. Nzinga. What up, Nzinga?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. What's up? What's
up?
up?
Hey, good evening, Mr. Zoe. How are you?
I'm alive and well. Long time no hear from. Love to have you back. What are your thoughts
Yeah,
on tonight's topic?
when it's this the sound bites you've been playing been really good. When Dr. Ramani said masterful catering to needs, immediately like people pleasing, walking on eggshells, you know, looking at people's temperament, trying to gauge where they're at, like all that stuff kind of came to mind. Mm-hmm. But it also brought me back to like one of your questions that you had that you sent out to us, which was, what do you believe has the greatest impact on your emotional pain tolerance level? Mm-hmm. And I would say your upbringing, or how you would say, or you would call modeling. Mm-hmm. I think that if you grow up around that, you can attract partners like that, and then it's just like you say, oh, they're just tripping, you know, oh, it's okay, or you're walking on eggshells not to incite them or aggravate them. Mm-hmm. But I think also you can kind of turn into a victim when you do masterful catering because you don't stand up for yourself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then when you do, it comes spilling out, and then you can kind of look like a victim sometimes when you don't. If you can look like a victim, I think, when you don't nip things in the bud when it happens, mm-hmm. and you kind of hold on to it. So, yeah.
I love it. Do you know how important it is to have these type of conversations? Because
very.
Can we be honest, Nzinga? If you listen to the episodes of The Voice of Reason that are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever they are, right? If you can listen to these episodes, and it's over 300 now, we're closing in on 400 episodes. So wow. if you were to just sit back for a second and say, how many of these topics did I actually cover in my relationship? Can we be honest? Are we having these types of discussions or no?
I think people are having these discussions, but it's very surface level. You know, it's accusatory a lot of times. Mm-hmm. No one ever, because when you, like the comments, I think the comments on Instagram show how society is degrading. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I share them in my stories, and I think people think I'm sharing them because I think it's funny, but I want people to see what people are thinking and how me personally, I just think society is degrading. But when, you know, these conversations happen with these young folks on these panels, a lot of times you go in the comments and everybody's bickering. Mm-hmm. There doesn't seem to be a resolve. And I think the conversations that we have on The Voice of Reason are solution oriented, mm-hmm. because everything goes back to you, to me.
Wait.
What do you like? A lot of times when people
stay with me, Nzinga, because you cooking and I love it, and I ain't had you in a while. Your cooking is delicious. Stay with me. When we come forward, we going back to Pensacola, Florida, because she's on fire.
When you're not here, I can even smile. I can't think without you. My mind is always with you.
He's on fire tonight. It's The Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. The FDNY is investigating who heckled at New York Attorney General Letitia James at a graduation ceremony last week. The booing was loud and prompted the Attorney General to say, "Come on, we're in the house of God." The heckling sounded well orchestrated rather than spontaneous, with Trump chants interrupting James's remarks. The FDNY wants to get to the bottom of it. It's got clear video of the event, but issued an internal memo saying that those who gave Letitia James an icy welcome would be better off stepping forward rather than being hunted down. The NAACP wants black student athletes to reconsider if they're thinking of enrolling in a predominantly white institution in Florida. The organization yesterday sent a letter to the NCAA president, Charlie Baker. NAACP leaders are protesting the state's law requiring schools to dismantle diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. They claim that Republican governor and former presidential candidate Ron DeSantis has been wagging war on black America. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Getting connected has never been easier. Get free Wi-Fi at all LA County Library locations, inside the library and outside in the parking lots. Visit your local library and get connected today.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough.
Hey Californians, are you ready to make your home ownership dreams come true? The California Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loan Program might be for you. First-generation homebuyers can get down payment and closing cost assistance along with a first mortgage to help you unlock the door of your new home. Applications open in April, so talk to an approved lender to see if you're eligible. Find out more at calhfa.ca.gov/dream or call 877-922-5432. A message from the California Housing Finance Agency.
Substance use disorder and addiction is so isolating. And so, as a Black woman in recovery, hope must be loud. It grows louder when you ask for help and you're vulnerable. It is the thread that lets you know that no matter what happens, you will be okay.
When we learn the power of hope, recovery is possible. Find out how at startwithhope.com. Brought to you by the National Council for Mental Wellbeing, Shatterproof, and the Ad Council.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk Radio. to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
So I got this two-timing chick who got her revenge from when I was on my two-time tip. And even when I tried to correct it, she couldn't get past how she was disrespected, neglected my effort, a pair with no trust, dirty games and affairs that been tearing us up. If things ain't picture perfect, is it really worth it? I have an idea, but I need to know for certain. I'm calling you up, I'm calling you up. Cause I need a love doctor, and I need it right away. I'm calling you up, I'm calling you up. Cause I need to hear the doctor's voice to breeze
We hear this all of the time. You are dysregulated. You need to get regulated. What does it really mean to be emotionally regulated? And what causes dysregulation and what can you do about it? This video is going to go into all of those things, and the second part will have, I think, 4 main techniques or skills either demonstrated or referred to out of this book on DBT skills, the skills workbook. DBT was originally created to help those with borderline, but it has become a very important and powerful tool to use for many different varieties of those who struggle, those of us who struggle with dysregulation. So we're going to go into 4 different ways to deal with that, and at the end of this video, 4 different techniques. One of them is going to be the safe place guided imagery exercise, which I'm going to record today, and I'm going to post it without any ads, only before and only after, so that you can practice it and use it as a tool. I also think on my free course, there's a free downloadable option as well, an MP3 version, but I wanted to create a place here on YouTube also where you could kind of use that. It is my favorite guided meditation, and I'll talk more about that in the video, but it is something that I have used for years. It's the first one I've learned, and it's my go-to when I feel dysregulated. So, who feels dysregulated? What kinds of, situations in our lives can create that? Of course, trauma, following a trauma, basically after a trauma, whether it's a single event trauma like PTSD or complex PTSD, living in that symptomatology where you just feel, anxious or depressed or out of sorts, things like that. Certainly those who have autism can feel that sense of dysregulation for many reasons, often the baseline being the sensory triggers in the body and how all of that plays out. People who have mood disorders like bipolar, depression, anxiety, people who have ADHD, borderline personality disorder, really anything that disrupts our ability in our body and our minds to kind of feel in control of our emotions. And that's really what emotional dysregulation is. It's a sense of being unable to manage or control what's happening in your emotional world. So, what does it look like and feel like? Because you may not realize that you are actually dysregulated. You might, for many of us, I think it is such a common state of being going through our day, and especially if you have, for example, a form of autism or borderline or anxiety, where you're just a generalized anxiety disorder, I would say, where you're just like going through your day, and so often you have these big or little moments of just feeling dysregulated.
Man, we so deep into these relationships. Ain't nobody talking about relationships like this. Andy, is there anybody talking about relationships like this? Am I missing something? We got to have these conversations. They're absolutely necessary. Go ahead, Andy.
I just want to shout out Miss Nzinga. She said some of the realest stuff before, we went to break.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that, you have a solution-based conversation. And, I was telling you behind the scenes that, I forgot what I was about to say.
About the entertainment piece.
No, not about the entertainment piece, but I just like the fact that it is solution-based. Oh, yeah, and that this is a non-judgmental space.
Oh, absolutely.
As opposed to social media, you know what I'm saying, when you see those conversations, it just seems like people are out to attack each other or whatnot. But here, it's non-judgmental. You can come from this particular creed or a spiritual lens or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, everybody's perspective is valued. And once again, you know what I'm saying, it's all solution-based. So salute to you.
Thank you, Andy. Hey, let's get Nzinga back in here. Pensacola, Florida. Please give us your final thoughts on tonight's topic.
Okay, so Radioland, while we were on break, Mr. Zoe was saying that if your partner hurts you...
Wait, you going to tell on me?
You
going to tell them the behind-the-scenes work? Oh, my goodness, you snitching. What happened?
What Mr. Zoe said, if your partner hurts you, you should give them the opportunity to see you ugly cry. So I want to ask, and that equates to vulnerability. Am I off or am I on the right track?
You're right there, yes.
So I'm going to ask you something else.
Mm-hmm.
Does vulnerability and trust go hand in hand?
Yes. But I would say,
and
let you see, you about to open the can of worms. We about to go fishing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I would say they do go hand in hand. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
However, the way our spirit is set up, as Kevin Hart would say, the way our spirit, mind, and emotions are set up in this society, they're actually counterproductive. Trust and vulnerability are actually opposites. See, most of us have a fear-based trust system. I need to trust that you won't hurt. Not understanding that human beings are designed to hurt each other. That's just what's going to happen. Your mama hurt you. When your mama neglected you, she hurt you. When you weren't nurtured, when you modeled something toxic, that was hurting your spirit. Relationships are a spiritual washing machine for your spirit. You're supposed to get it cleansed out of you, what you modeled. Do you see? So,
yeah, I see.
So the way our minds work and how we view trust is fear-based. So is loyalty. But vulnerability says you got to let the hurt in. This is why I was saying.
This is what I'm saying.
This is why I'm saying this is a very, it's a very selfish act to be in love with somebody that hurt you, and you keep the pain that they caused you away from them. If you just give them your words, that's intellectual bypassing. Now I'm at a point where I can talk about it now. You just don't understand how bad you hurt me. You don't understand what you put me through. I don't. Show me. And a lot of times, hear what I'm saying. If you allow somebody, if you allow somebody to space, and the person you share it with has to be emotionally intelligent enough to allow you to break down in front of them. Because you're going to, listen, if you got a good psychiatrist or a good psychologist, you're going to break down in front of them. And the reason why do you see what I'm saying? And the reason why you can do that is because there's no skin in the game with the damn psychologist.
I say that all the time. Mr. Zung.
Go ahead. Yes.
But my point is, for Nzinga, I don't know if it's fear based, but when I'm at the verge, when I'm on the cliff to be vulnerable, I feel like I have to trust. because it's something I heard on Dr. Sunshine's show, and the lady said, where there's no trust, there can't be any healing.
100%.
And I agree with that. So for me, because a lot of times people are vulnerable and tell me stuff, and they know I'm gonna take it to the grave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always, and I guess I am a little fearful to totally take off the mask because, like you said.
But wait, Nzinga, stay with me. Stay with me right here. Trust is really acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
If you let somebody in, that means you accept them. Do you see? See, we're accepting people for what we want, not for who they are. I want you not to hurt me. I want you to give me what I need. I want you to support me. And if I can trust you to give me these things, then you can come back. Do you see? That's how trust works in this toxic society. I need to guarantee that you don't hurt me. Right?
It's part of life, though.
But it's everybody's a work in progress. Wait till they hurt you. Then what you gonna do? See, we'd rather listen to what I'm about to say. We'd rather get rid of the person than get rid of the faulty thought process around the idea. Trust. Right? Trust is really about accepting. And Sugar Chris said, trust begins with trusting yourself. Accepting yourself. You can't trust yourself unless you accept yourself. Right? And you can't heal unless you've accepted it all. It is what it is. This is what it's about. I don't have to judge it. I don't have to disrespect it. I don't have to label it. This is the feeling. And that's why I say it's a selfish thing to do, to go spirit cry by yourself and never give your partner the chance to see the results of the hurt they caused you. And I'm talking about in a healthy relationship. Damn, I didn't know I hurt you like that. Oh my goodness. You think that wouldn't affect change? No, we'd rather argue them into understanding. We'd rather complain them into understanding. We'd rather blame them into understanding our hurt. We'd rather shame them into understanding our hurt. We'd rather devalue them into understanding our hurt. We'd rather discard them into understanding our hurt. But never do we give them the chance to see what they did to us. Now we'll show our mama. We'll show our brothers, right? We'll show our father. We'll show our uncles. We'll show our little inner circle of close friends. But we won't show the perpetrator. This is why people don't understand the Prince record. If I was your girlfriend, would you run to me if somebody hurt you, even if that somebody was me? Because Prince understood the dynamics of relationship. Human beings hurt human beings. We're all victims of victims. Remember yesterday's show? That's who we are. So if we don't make space for the humanity, how can we relate without judgment, without blame, without condemnation? Stay with me, Nzinga. When we come forward, more from this powerful conversation.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Helping to broaden your political and moral imagination with our 2024 climate justice campaign. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Come on, man. Only a Gemini. This record is empathy. If I were your girlfriend, come on. You would open up to me. You would talk to me in such a way that I would understand where you're coming from. Because I'm your man, I get the truncated, edited version. Oh, man. Whew. Nzinga. All right, here you go, Nzinga. Give me your final thought, and then we got to get these other callers in here.
Thank you. I don't have no other thought. Thank you for this pro bono counseling session. I appreciate it.
Much love, Nzinga. Thank you for calling. All righty. We love Nzinga. Nikki from the SIP.
Brother Joe.
What are your
and
thoughts?
the fam, how's it?
Yes. What are your thoughts?
If we don't do the inner work, then we can't be found. So when we come out of the cocoon, we can stand and hold the ugly cry of the other person. I had a man tell me once because he saw me in a breakdown moment, which was very scary to him because I don't do that. So if I'm doing that, it's really bad. But in that moment, he was afraid because he hadn't seen me in that space. And so he said, I'm afraid. I don't know what to do. And I said, don't fix it. Don't talk to me. Just hold me for a minute. I'm going to be straight, but I need a minute. But to do that, he had to have enough space in him to hold a breakdown. And that was a first for him. Because if Nikki is breaking down, okay, it's really bad. Because she doesn't do that. And he had to understand in himself, he told me this later, that he had to get in a position where he had never been before, which was in a space to find himself in that cocoon, so that he would allow in his body, spirit, soul, self, room to accept the breakdown from this lady right here. And because our society teaches us the way it does, particularly with little boys, very often I think they don't get a chance to find themselves in the cocoon before they get grown. So they don't learn how to save some room in that body space, in that soul space for the breakdown. And so then it has to, you were saying earlier about Kobe and training. Okay, well then they start that training on every chick they date.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Because they never had a chance in the formative space to understand that I'm going to need room for some emotion other than mine. That's going to be really ugly and might be scary. You have that. It does take practice to make that space, to have that room. And if you don't learn it when you're in the formative space at home, then you're going to practice on every chick, every dude until you start to get it. And isn't that terrible?
But what if you were raised by spiritual bypassing? Ooh.
Exactly.
Lord.
Because then that's the model.
Ooh.
And then some woman, man, is going to have to teach you the other way in the most painful way possible for both people. Because if I need you to have it and you don't, then I'm going to want to be ready to go because you don't have the thing I'm going to need on the day it's going to fall apart for me. I need my dude to show up for me. I don't mean with the check all the time.
Okay.
You do that anyway.
Okay, we only got 30 seconds left. Nikki, can you call me tomorrow? We love you. Mississippi in the building. Yo, this show was fire. We appreciate every caller from all over the country. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look, up next, the fire continues. My girl, your girl, our girl, RSVP with Jill Monroe. Jill Monroe is in the building. I'll see y'all tomorrow, my Friday. Deuces.
How we gotta lose from what was oh so